Hey, I'm Robert Pearson, and this is Follow the Leader, where I sit down on my lunch break. We talk Bible stuff and what it means to be a Christian man and become, hopefully, better fathers and husbands and men all around. We are in, if I can, I just closed it, can I find it again? Proverbs, there it is. Chapter 14, 15, and 16. I got one verse out of each. Proverbs, book of Proverbs is all over the place. And so, in order to get everything thematic, you got to pick like one verse out of each chapter. Because he says the same thing over and over again, slightly differently. So, we are in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29, and then chapter 15, verse 18, and then chapter 16, verse 32. And I'm just going to read those one after the next. Scriptures in the description if you want to take a peek at it. 14:29, here we go. He who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick-tempered exalts folly. 15, 18. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms a dispute. And 16:32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who captures a city. All right. So what's your knee-jerk reaction to this? What was the first instinct you have reading it? Mine is kind of, well, obviously it's not good to be mad. That's kind of a given. Also, one of the things about the Proverbs is it doesn't really give you a way. You're like, so what's the trick? The answer is just don't be angry. What are you giving me there? I don't have anything to do with that. So I think I'm going to bleed into how easy is this? According to 16:32, that last one, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He who rules his spirit than he who captures a city. He who rules his spirit is better than he who captures a city, is implied from the previous portion. So what do you got, right? It's easy for you to say, right? And I don't know, there's something to the fact that Proverbs never gives you a methodology for here's how you stop being angry. It just tells you being angry is stupid, so don't. And to an extent, that's kind of the way of it. Is you just have to choose to rule your anger and to not act out of anger. And instead of entertaining it, just be done with it. It's not always as simple as that, but it has to be a little simple. I mean, what good is good advice that you are incapable of following? It's no good. It's worthless. So there's so many times, because I think this is the second run of 3 verses that say manage your anger in Proverbs. It doesn't give you a plan to like, here's how you manage your thing, or always make sure to focus on, or it's important to count to 10. It just says stop. Stop being angry. Manage it. Take care of it. If you can't, you're going to have hard times. He who is slow to anger has great understanding. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger calms a dispute. Your ability to stay calm, to stay chill, is going to serve you. It's going to help you not cause problems, not stir things up. And so that's it just seems to an extent just exert some self-control, man up and take care of yourself is kind of the answer to an extent. Of course, in the other direction, it's not always that simple, and that's fine. Go find methods for dealing with it, but don't use that as an excuse to do nothing. Go deal with it then. If it's not as simple for you as just stopping it, then figure out what tricks do you need to do. If it's easier for you to get angry when you're hungry, carry some snacks. Start eating snacks. Find a way to accommodate yourself until your willpower becomes strong enough. Don't put yourself in a losing situation and expect to to be able to just overpower every time. You got to start with light weights, then you can lift heavy weights. Because it's not going to be easy, because we know he who's slow to anger is better than the mighty. It's easier to capture a city, apparently, than it is to rule your spirit. So, something to bear in mind. Is there anywhere else you've heard this? There were a bunch of other verses in the Proverbs that I remember. It was an anger issue I had to memorize as a kid growing up. But, I mean, just looking around, it's all over self-help stuff. It's all over your, the modern psychology things. Don't get angry, manage your anger, take care of yourself, and all the self-help folks have kind of stumbled around to the same thing the Bible tells them, which is, don't be angry. It's right here. But of course, we're finding out now from like doctors and stuff that being angry is not good for you, or high blood pressure and inflammation, and I don't know, whatever the trend of the week is. Anger always raises your cholesterol when it's a cholesterol fad, or causes you to do such and such with carbohydrates when everybody's on a carbohydrate fad. Whatever the diet fad is, you'll find somewhere there's a study someone says where anger makes it worse. So it's well within even worldly wisdom saying, don't be angry. Calm down, learn to relax, learn to have a slow, even temper. What are some of the things that would stop us from having a slow, even temper? Convenience. Being lazy to an extent. Sometimes you don't want to stop and actually listen to everything someone is saying, or actually listen to what is being proposed. You just, I don't want to, and you snap and you react, and you don't. Yeah, that's how people get hurt. That's how you say words that you would regret to your kids. And at the same time, we have ways that make it easier for us to get angry. Like I mentioned earlier, being hungry, being tired, not sleeping enough. When you get tired, you get hungry, you start snapping at everybody. It's real easy to have a short temper then. And so, obviously, yeah, you could willpower through it, but that's not infinite. That's not a limitless strategy. So what you need to do then is sleep more. Make sure you stay fed. Find if there's a time of day where you're constantly getting grumpy, carry a granola bar around with you. Then like a couple bucks at Walmart for a box of granola bars, right? Throw one in your pocket for that time of day. Boom. Get out of your car after the drive home. Chomp down a granola bar before you go in the house, and it helps things be easier. And then I actually have one little trick that I use. My kids, when we're in the vehicle and they're shrieking, and kids are always loud and they're always high pitched. And especially if it'll be like late at night, we're driving home from a church thing or whatever, and I know that I'm tired, I can tell when I'm tired and I'm upset versus when they're, actually doing something wrong. Like I can know when it's on me. They're not doing anything wrong, they're just being kids, and kids are loud. I keep a pair of earplugs in the van. So I can just reach into the console, and I pull out earplugs, and I go, boop, and I can keep driving. And just having earplugs lowers whatever shrill pitch it is that children emit that makes you want to rip your own eyeballs out. It gets rid of it. So I can still hear them, I can understand what they're saying, but it makes it a lot easier to just chill. So there are nights that I'm starting to grip the steering wheel, and I catch myself tensing up, and I go, oh, I'm going to snap in a minute. Don't just I'm going to power through, I'm going to drive home. Yeah, just put earplugs in. And suddenly everything relaxed. The tension's gone. I can say, all right, guys, quiet down. Turn the radio up a little louder. Zone out and get home. So little tricks to make your own life easier can help manage your anger externally. That gives you the room, because you still have to manage it internally. The anger's still there. You haven't dealt with it yet. So you got to process the way you process things. That. And, how can we overcome that? I bled right into the last one. Cool. So that's what I got for you today. Give me your best anger management attempt down below. Throw out your own answers to some of the comments, or just give me ways that you learn to check yourself and calm down. I had a good friend in college said he would visualize himself when he started to get angry. He would visualize his anger as like a separate. This is angry Garrett, and then he would just kind of laugh at how silly he looked getting angry over what it was, and he would find that mirth, and then be able to just kind of smile and laugh about whatever it was that was previously making him upset. Which was a little bit of an abstract, but it was neat. I've never been able to use it, but there you go. So yeah, give me your trick that you use, and that's all I got for you today. I will see you next time. Godspeed.